Welcome to 2024-25 SCAC Basketball Media Days. Today we're taking a dive into the Colorado College men's basketball program. The Tigers will once again be led as they head into the season. The guys head coach Jeff Conarroe, along with leadership from senior Scott Ruegg. Coach Scott, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Coach, we'll open up with you heading into your fifth season as the head coach of this CC men's basketball program, a program I know you care a lot about, being an alum and having played there. I'm interested, as you go into year five, where have you seen the biggest growth in this program over these last 4 years? And how excited are you to be back here and to get ready to start here year five going into the season?
Well, we're pretty pumped up. I mean, it's an exciting time around here. It's exciting to be on campus. I'm sure we have 3 top 10 teams in fall sports, including hockey in the country, and just a lot of excitement around championship culture here at CC, and we're just trying to play into that. Our program has grown tremendously, in all facets. Our alumni engagement, interest in our program as far as in our Colorado Springs community and the relationships we've built there. But I'm most proud of the growth of these seniors. I mean, this is my first recruiting class. Super excited to watch what they do this year. And it's just been really fortunate to it's very rare in college basketball that you recruit 7 guys and see that class come to fruition and all be valued contributors. But what I love about this class the most is their selflessness. We may only have 2 or 3 of them that are in the starting lineup, and they don't care. And that's really become a hallmark of our program, and the humility that they've shown is special. And so for me to lead that group is really a special feeling. And 5 years ago, we set out on a journey, and it was a rough start, but we had a vision, and now to see that vision start to become a reality, there's a great responsibility to get these guys over the hump and help them achieve, their dreams and goals when they started it.
Now, Scott, coming into this year, obviously it's a big year for you. You're a part of this senior class that Coach talks about, and of course, the way the season ended last year on such a magical run to that SCAC tournament title match. What's the vibe like now here at the start of this preseason? How excited is this group to be back together? How has preseason unfolded, and what are you looking forward to most at the start of this season?
Well, the vibes have been phenomenal. I would say, like you said, at the end of the season, it was a hard moment for us losing in the championship, but it brought a lot of experience, and it brought a lot of excitement for this year. So the preseason has been go, go, go. Everyone loves to be at practice. Everyone loves to be at the 6 a.m. morning lifts. This is just like a group that really, really loves to play and really likes to be here. And you can see it from 1 to 16. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when. The team wants to be here, and we're just excited to go show what we have.
Coach, tell us a little about this group, this version of the 24-25 CC Tigers basketball team. Obviously, a ton of experience returns. You talk about that group of seniors that are all back for this season. I think 7 of your top 8 scorers from a year ago. So there is familiarity, but as you know, they're a year older. You bring in some new folks to the program. Not every team is always going to be the same. So what have you learned about this version of the team that has you excited? And tell us about some of their personalities, what makes it fun to be around them as a coach.
Yeah, just trying to keep up with them has been a challenge for an old guy like me. So that's a good start. They're super hungry. They're excited. When you don't have to coach energy, it's a wonderful thing. And this is a group that we've been able to push a little bit in the preseason, and I think we got a little bit tougher ball club than we had last year, a little bit more mature mentally and emotionally, and I think that's going to be critical for us to try to make another run. We're really looking to try to build consistency of character over the course of the year. But they're really, I think the biggest difference in our team now is the selflessness that they're approaching this thing, and their willingness to share the basketball. I think hopefully our turnovers are going to go down a little bit. That's been a big focus for us while sustaining our good defense and our performance on the glass last year. Feel like if we can get those turnovers down and share the basketball better, we're going to have a really good chance. And certainly that's been our focus, but I give them a lot of credit because they identified that as a priority and they've committed to it even in, when we weren't in the gym and their pickup sessions. It's obvious that they committed to it because now in practice, the ball moves and it's shared at a high level and people don't force it and they trust each other. So I think that's the biggest difference is how they've come together and how they trust each other and they've grown and they've matured and they should be fun to watch. Certainly, hopefully we'll have some newcomers contribute, but at the end of the day, it's these juniors and seniors that have earned the opportunity, to see what they got and we'll go as high as they go.
Scott, what is it that you've grown to love about being a college athlete and a college basketball player? It's been fun to watch you develop over your time. You've been such a big part of this program, really even going back to day one, being there at the spring. So what have you grown to love about being a college athlete and a college basketball player? And why has, being a part of the CC men's program kind of helped bolster those loves and strengthen those things, over the course of your time there?
Well, being an athlete's not easy, right? It's a grind every day. You got to work on your body, you got to work on your shot, you got to work on everything, right? But that's what I truly love, and I think that's what our team really, really loves, and that's what we honor here at CC. This isn't some place you just kind of show up and hope to play and hope to just like be here. This is something that you work for every day. This is something that we have for 4 years have really developed this attitude of we're going to work hard. We're going to try to work harder than everybody else in the country. And that's what I truly love about being an athlete and how CC has developed that. It helps when coaches pushing us to another limit that we don't think we can go, but we can, right? And we see it every day. Every day we get 1% better, and that's just what's so great about this team is everyone's willing to work as hard as they can and push themselves as far as they can.
Coach Scott talked a little bit about kind of the way the season ended and the disappointment, but how that kind of brought this team together and really continued to motivate them. So I'm interested from your perspective as a coach, what did you learn kind of going through that run? Because you don't know what you don't know. And so for you and kind of this iteration of the CC team going through that experience, getting to the championship game, it all felt new and exciting. But as you reflected, what did you learn going through that process? And how did that, success motivate and drive you even more as a coach to come back this season?
But I definitely learned that I probably should not wear a sport coat to the championship game. But beyond that, it was a special time for us. I think Scott touched on it. When you have leadership like this, it makes the head coach's job easy, but just staying focused on the process. It's a long season in college basketball, and we had some moments last year because we challenged ourselves, but we really grew, we really came together, and that's kind of what we try to accomplish in our program. It's a process of growth, and staying committed to the process, and success is defined on how much you grow over the season and reaching, or performing beyond our potential. Really felt like towards the end of the year we got to that, and what goes on in between, that's just part of the messy growth process. And so I'm really excited that this group has continued to grow and continue to buy into that. And I think that, that just puts us in a position where, we have a new starting point and a new journey, and we just stay committed to that process and not get too caught up in results. So that's my biggest takeaway. And then the other thing is we really learned a lot about belief and alignment and alignment with what we're trying to do here to follow great leadership at CC. Leslie Irvine, championship culture, chasing championships. Like, what does that really mean? Because when you're, in a tough spot with expectations in the middle of January and facing a 6-game road trip, trying to find yourself, you got to stay focused on those big picture things and worry about the main things, which is growing our student athletes and their care and their well-being. And and the last thing I found is I got a resilient bunch. I got a group that they grew up during that trip, and we put together a schedule that's really, really daunting. I'm a little bit scared of it with all the NCAA tournament teams from last year that are on it. But I know this group's up for the challenge because I watched them grow up and I watched them gain the grit that they need to take on a season, that we have ahead of us, a schedule like we have this year.
Scott, and finally wrapping up with you, because of the success that you and your teammates have had and the hard work that you've put in, the floor has risen, the bar has gotten higher there. And, coach talks about it right there. This team is chasing championships. So when you've had conversations with some of the other teammates, some of the other leaders within that locker room about some of the goals and expectations coming into this year, what have those conversations looked like? And ultimately, what do you see as being key in order to accomplish those things heading into the year?
Well, Coach alluded to the fact it's really that belief that's been driving us. We believe we are one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in the country, and we really think that can drive us. For an example, every time we break down a huddle at practice, team on 3, 1, 2, 3 team. We have one guy on our team, Corey, who's going around hardware, rings, rings, rings. It's that message that just keeps going. Everyone believes in the same thing. 1 through 16. Everyone knows what our goal is to win the SCAC, to make it to the NCAA tournament and win it, right? We're not going to shy short of that. Everyone's got the same goal. We're all on the same page on how to get there. It's been that selflessness that we've been talking about, that belief, and everyone just wants the same thing. And so we're going to do our best to go get it.
Finally, Coach, to wrap up with you, it's cool to hear Scott, talk about those conversations that he's having with his teammates. So now for you as a coach, what is the message? The standards has been set, the bar is high. You can hear it from one of your, senior leaders in Scott. So what has been your message as the coach to this group to help guide them and continue to push them in that direction so they can, ultimately accomplish those goals that they have set for themselves?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of gives me goosebumps really to even that we can have conversations about this. We were a long ways away from this point, and we probably, it's going to be a long, hard journey to even win a ring. We certainly don't think that we're better than anybody else in this league, and it's a tough conference this year. It was really hard to provide, and we don't even get to rank ourselves, but to provide those rankings about where we saw the rest of the league, because I think it's a really good conference. 3 NCAA tournament teams last year, and hopefully, another repeat performance, if not more, this year. So we know it's a tough journey. We know that it's not going to be easy with the schedule that we have. We're not going to be perfect, and that's been the message of being where our boots are, just trying to be the best that we can that day, trying to get 1% better, trying to be consistent, just see how good we can perform, not worry about what everybody else has got going on, and just try to get better, and that's our focus every day. Work really hard, empty the tank. That's kind of been their slogan every day. They just all in is what they say. They want to leave it all on the floor, and if we can do that every day in practice and not take one day for granted, we'll feel like we're have a chance to perform at our best at the end of the year, and that's what you want to be doing, just like we were last year, is playing our best as we head towards the end of February.
Conarroe College head men's basketball coach Jeff Conarroe, along with leadership from senior Scott Ruegg. The Tigers will open up the 2024-25 campaign when they take on Pacific Lutheran at home on November 8th. Coach Scott, thanks so much for your time today. Best of luck as you head into the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.